Hey there, wonderful listeners. Welcome to another episode of LifeCraft Echoes. I'm your host, Osmond Okocha, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey of exploration and growth. As a brand consultant and project manager with over 2 decades of experience, I've had the privilege of navigating the dynamic world of creativity and team building. Through my journey, I have learned valuable lessons, faced challenges head on, and witnessed the power of personal development in the creative industry. I am also the founder of Maka Studio, a space dedicated to crafting authentic and impactful brand design and stories. Through LifeCraft Echoes, I'm excited to open up and share my personal experiences, insights, and heartfelt reflections. Join me as we delve into the realms of teamwork, personal growth, and the incredible potential that lies within each of us. Whether you're a creative professional, an aspiring entrepreneur, or simply someone seeking inspiration, this podcast is for you. Let's embark on this journey together as we uncover the echoes of life, remarkable tapestry. Thank you for being here. Let's dive into another episode of LifeCraft Echoes. Many years ago, I wanna think it's around 2007, I lived in a place, a filling station. It was not even used for self. It was not active filling station. I just lived there. The owners of the filling station allowed me to live there, and because I was young, it was my bachelor days. I one day came back from work. I usually come back at evenings, working in a car wash, and then I had a bicycle that took me to and fro to the car wash. So that evening I came back, and then there was nobody I didn't live with anybody. And I came back very sick. Very sick. I didn't have the right drugs. I didn't have the right drugs in my house. I knew I was supposed to buy a drug, but I was very sick to even go out. I lived alone, then I didn't have a roommate. And it was very hard for me to go out there. Not because I don't have the money, but because my body couldn't. And throughout the night, the ailment was something else. Something else. By morning, my phone was switched off. That made it worse. Usually, I could have charged the phone somewhere before coming to sleep, a place where I usually go to hang around with people. Maybe when I come back like 6 o'clock, I take my dinner, and 8 o'clock I just go hang out with them, charge my phone for 2 hours, and 10 o'clock I'm back. But I couldn't do all of that evening. And then the person who owned the filling station, I know he usually call. And he called and called, but my phone was switched off. By morning, he drove by, and he came around and called my name, but
Osmond, are you in?
I was too down to come out to even answer him. So he thought I was not home, and he left. I managed by noon time, 12, to crawl out of my room and come outside. And by then, I was just looking out for if someone could just pass, someone I know. Then I'll call the person and beg him or her to go buy me a drug so that I can take and get well. I had food, so it's not a question of eating. I just needed someone to help so that I can be okay. Unfortunately, I think I waited there for more longer time before the owner came back again, because they usually come in the morning and then in the afternoon, and that will be it for the day. That afternoon, when he drove by with his wife and they met me and they were like, "How are you? Are you okay?" I said, "No, sir, I'm not fine." "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I'm having fever and it's been so bad." And he said, "Have you taken the drugs?" "No, sir, I have not been able to buy." I said, "Come on." And he said, "All right, get dressed. Let me carry you out." And then I tried my possible best to get dressed. And then he took me out. What am I trying to pull out of this story? It was not an easy thing for me to find help. I had gone through a lot to get the help I needed. But I discovered that even when the help came, it took a long time. And the worst may have happened if God wasn't on my side. I heard a lot of stories of people who live alone, and then all through their lives they just stay alone. Maybe because of not wanting to have anything to do with people, or the opposite sex. They don't want to have a spouse. They don't want the troubles that comes with having a spouse. So therefore, they live alone. Or like young bachelors like me, who may not even want to have other roommates like a guy because of the troubles it creates and all that. But there's also living alone, and sometimes you also having people to talk with on the phone. I mean, the phone, especially the smartphones, bring us together or connect us together so that we can even be far, and yet it feels like we are close. The smartphone does a lot of that magic. Emotionally, you just know that someone will call you in the morning to check on you, and someone will call you late at night to check on you. So one way or the other, you don't feel alone. You may not have all of that because of maybe your faith. You don't want to have a girlfriend as a young person, or you don't want to have anything to do with a boyfriend. But there are genuine friends out there, and there are siblings you may not want to neglect. Maybe you are the type that your siblings always trouble you and you did rather stay alone. Well, the goal of this is that you really need people around you. No matter how troublesome they could be, that could be their weak part. There could be their good part. And then it's necessary to have you gather them around you. That's the most important thing. This was the whole idea of me having to create my own family. Because if anything had happened to me living at that filling station, believe me, I will not be here doing this podcast. I will not be here talking to you. And so I started by creating my own family. I started by building my own family. I may not have it complete, but the most important part of family is having someone to talk to. It could be older persons, it could be your mother, it could be younger persons, it could be your brothers and sisters, it could be your colleagues, it could be your pals, but they are just families. They should be family. In 2009, I entered a town for computer training, solely for computer training. And then one way or the other, found myself in a church. Maybe one day I'll tell the story of how I got to that church. Through my best friend, he was my childhood friend, who is also late now. And then he introduced me to his church. It happened so fast that he came one morning. He had called me on the phone. He said, "Hello, Osmond, I'm coming to pick you up this morning. We are going to my church." One way or the other, I don't want to think that he needed me in his church because I knew how to play keyboard. Because I entered the town new, I was not really interested in going to church. Moreover, as at this time, I had not been born again. I learned how to play keyboard early those days, 2000, far back 2006. And here we are in 2010, someone is dragging me to go to church. Just because I know how to play keyboard and then I know how to do a lot of other stuff. And I agreed. And he brought me to his church. And that day, there was no keyboardist. Everybody did their praises and worship without a keyboard. The keyboard was there, but there was no one to play it. I sat at the corner feeling very, very shy. That's me anyway. Feeling very shy, but he kept giving me this sign to go up. Everything is all right, go up. I managed to pull through. I didn't actually go straight from the church, from where I was sitting straight to the keyboard. They had a back door to the instrument angle. And if you know, most churches do have that. I used to think that's where the instrumentalists used to escape once it's time for message. So I went through the back door and turned around and then mounted the keyboard. And I played and everybody was dancing. Everybody was dancing. They were just feeling very happy. This church was excited or needed this excitement from someone just touching the keyboard. I felt like I held the key to make people dance by just playing that first time in their church. What I'm trying to say is that I've been playing in other churches, but this church was amazing me as I was playing. I'm sure they extended their time of praises because I was still playing. And then some people picked interest in me because each time I played the keyboard, I was always shaking my head. I was nodding my head in agreement with what I was playing. I had my body and everything moving along. Unfortunately, I was also standing and people were just enjoying me. Some persons were not really enjoying the dance. They were just enjoying someone who is dancing while playing a keyboard. I didn't know how those things happened. Well, to go straight to the point, it opened up my heart to see that these people really needed me. And that's the first thing about building a family. They really needed me. The next Sunday, they didn't invite me. I came on my own. The Sunday after, I came on my own. The Sunday after again, I came on my own. And I kept coming. till I left the location. When I started coming to the church, I discovered that they had a lot of lapses. I wasn't very good at music. I just learned the keyboard because I loved the keyboard. So I took the love of the keyboard and, from there I love songs too. I remember those days back then, Celine Dion, R. Kelly, we played in our house. So I felt like I was there just to sing. I never thought of me not being able to sing, but I just felt like singing should be very easy. Until when I joined their rehearsals. And this rehearsals, I discovered that, wow, these people really know how to sing a little, but they are not organized. And then me, who's trying to organize them, I don't know how to sing very well. Okay, they didn't have a very good leadership plan. They didn't have a very good team too. They had a lot of beefs around them, I noticed. Being a new person, they also wanted me to be on their side. Some persons want me to be on their side. The other group of faction in the same team wanted me to be on their side. And I was like, what are you guys doing? I thought you're supposed to be a family. Well, I came there for a family and I had to concentrate on what I came there for. Little by little, I started blending into them. And then it dawned on me that what they did not have is a way to unite them. And I somehow started picking interest that if I was the one who made this church dance by reason of me playing keyboard, especially, and then I am here right now because I feel they need me, I should be able to talk to them and get their mind to work with me. And these factions is not really my interest. Even if there's going to be small mini group, small units in this small team, the team I'm talking about is not even up to 15. But even if there's going to be a small group, something you can call a committee or a unit in this small team, let me be the one to create it rather than them creating it on their own because of malice or like and dislike of the other persons. So I started talking to them about us being very serious and trying to make whatever we do here very serious. Recall that I was not born again. I'm only talking to them so that they can just be disciplined or take things serious. And they were like, agreeing, okay. I'm also needed. So I'm sure they should agree with me. Otherwise, I could just follow the back door and go again. And so that's how we started it. I was not the director, but somehow I was putting encouragement words, throwing it down, and they were following. That's how I started my first team. I was not a perfect singer. I was only the keyboardist that know how to make them dance. And I was not even so good at it. But the little I played made them dance. I was not also the trained leadership or leader. I just wanted them to be organized in a way. For me, it was let's be organized. For them, they could be thinking a lot of other things. Maybe in the coming podcast, I might explain about this group. so much. So it took me a lot of time to be able to get these people to understand what I meant when I said, let us be organized. Most people don't know that when you form a team, when you form a family, one of the things you have also formed is an organization. And because everybody plays a particular role or plays same role, similar roles, they don't know that because of the order that it makes it an organization. There is the order. There is who, in a family settings, there is who cooks the food, the mother. There is who provides the money, the father. And there are people who eat the food, the children. I mean, if there are nobody to eat the food, it will not be complete. So even the cook itself, herself, would eat. The provider would eat. The children also, who probably play around, do one or two things, make noise in the house. They are all forming that organization of people. They have a routine. They have a system. They come in, they leave early in the morning. They come back at night. They leave for school. They come back. They come back with food items. They cook it. They eat it. They sleep. The routine is continuous. The system is continuous. So it makes it an organization. And so everybody is playing his or her role continuously every day. It will take many people time to understand that I have a role every time I join a crew, a team, or even an organization. I have a role. The organization didn't just say, okay, are you free? Do you think you can come and just hang around here, just sit at the reception so that it will look like we have visitor? Even that too is a role, but I'm just saying that every organization needs, needs to have its role clearly defined, or the people itself need to know their role. Let everybody who says, I am part of this group, know that they have a role to play. While I feel like this podcast is for people who think that why should I start? Why should I begin? Why should I be serious? Why should I take this serious? I also feel that this podcast is also for people who perhaps are made leaders in a place and they are with zero knowledge. I also feel that this podcast can wake up some persons who maybe need families, need a team. People who should always think of having people around them, like my story, so that you don't have to die alone. It's very, very bad. A couple of weeks back, a man died in his house and had stayed 4 days, and the neighbors discovered him by the smell of awful smell in the whole compound. And because they also observed that they had not seen him, they pushed his door open and found him on the bed, dead for 4 days, and nobody knew about it. That's the most painful thing. I also feel that this podcast should address leaders who have not taken team building very serious, and followers who create factions, rebels amongst themselves in a team that isn't helping the growth of the people in the team or the organization. Take, for instance, my story, the choristers who have factions within themselves. It will not even help the church in general, not to talk of helping them, the choristers. They have to come out from the place of that small segregation and, come to the place of unity to be able to work together. That's what this podcast is all about. I cannot be in a place where people are not in sync with one another. I used to think, and I am quite sure, that even when we say, let us come together to do this, we may not even be related, but coming together, we start building some team together. And from there, we become family. The team has its own way of, creating this synergy that over time, it becomes a family. We already know what the other person wants, and we already know we have created our constitution, our likes, our dislikes, things we should do, and then we already start forming a family and start taking things very serious. That's what this podcast is all about. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of LifeCraft Echoes. Your time and attention are truly valued, and I'm honored to have you join me on this journey of reflection, growth, and inspiration. If you found value in today's episode, I'd be grateful if you could subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback helps me understand what resonates with you and how I can continue to provide content that enriches your journey. Remember, you have the power to craft your own path of authenticity and creativity. As you go about your day, keep the echoes of your discussion close to heart and let them guide you toward your aspiration. Stay curious, stay inspired, and until we meet again in the next episode of LifeCraft Echoes, keep embracing the adventure of life. Thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Bye. See you.